So we should start.
Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to GST Zen regular GST learning sessions. And I'm very happy that the response of the participants in terms of their knowledge updation and the tools that they see in the webinar are always encouraging, and that makes us to do the sessions regularly. And today we are here to look at one other session, which is on GSTR-1. And this was another requirement which came up from the participants saying that we need to have one session on the GSTR-1 and a little bit on automatic reporting of DRC01B and 1C. Before I start this session, is my voice clear, Utkarsh?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
All right. And session is being recorded for the future streaming.
Yes.
All right. Good. Okay. So let me introduce GST Zen. GST Zen is a GSP and ASP catering to all taxpayers, tax practitioners to file GST returns, reconcile data with the government portal. You will find the customers from mom and pop stores to listed entities using the services of GST Zen. GST Zen provides both filing of return solutions, reconciliation of the data which is already filed with the government portal with the books of accounts, facilitate an API integration to automatically generate an e-invoice and AB bill. One of the good new feature that had come up is track the notices that have come. And the good team is working on building a notice analyzer and giving insights of the notice too. So if you're a CFO or if you are a taxpayer practitioner handling some 20-30 returns, on a click of a button, you will be able to fetch all the details. And GST Zen is most uploaded GSP and ASP in the use of reportings. Most of the customers, they're happy with the Excel reports that are generated, especially consolidated data, where in one go they will have a visibility of their GSTR-1, 3B, 2B, and these reports are downloaded on a click of a button, right? That's about GST Zen. And today with me, along with me, Utkarsh, who is coordinating and moderating the session, is there. Manisha, who is with the second speaker, right after my session, she would be walking us through whatever I am saying, how we can demonstrate, we can actually do it in GST Zen. So she will be walking us through how do we file GSTR-1. And today, what we are mainly discussing on is the changes that have come, which is in table 14 and 15, to understand more in detail as to what is the values that we have to fill in. Because though this has come effective couple of months before, people still have confusion on it. This is how we would be taking the session, and we will end up the session around 4 o'clock. I will complete the theory part in 20 minutes and we'll take up the Q&A. Feel free to put your questions, whatever you have in the chat box, and our endeavor is to solve all your questions that you have. At the end of the session, you'll also get a feedback link. After you fill your feedback of the session, you'll get a link to download this material. So this material, what you're presenting, is also will be made available for your future reference. With this, let us start this session. First, let us understand the additional reportings, which is table 14 and 15. Apart from that, there are minor changes that have happened in the form 1. So for those of you who are not familiar with GSTR-1, let's quickly take a sneak peek into the GSTR-1. So if you look at GSTR-1, this is about reporting of liability and turnover relating to outward only. So you will be reporting the liability of outward only. Inward reverse charge is not to be reported in GSTR-1. This is one common mistake people do. So what we report here is my turnover. It could be my domestic turnover, my zero rated, which is export or supply to GST, supply to SEZ, or exempted turnover, which is not likely to be taxed or will not be taxed. No, we otherwise call it as non-taxable turnover, and advances. So what we are reporting is only my outward turnover in GST. So let's look at this outward turnover. When we say domestic, my turnover could be on forward charge or reverse charge. I could be selling to a registered person or an unregistered person. If I am doing a forward charge and to a registered person, then I would be reporting that value in table 4A. I'll be reporting that value in table 4A. If I am making a reverse charge to a registered person, then I will be reporting it into 4B. So a forward charge to 4A, reverse charge 4B. If I am making to unregistered person, if I'm making to a supply to an unregistered person, and that unregistered person is called B2C large. We have a B2C large, which is interstate supply made to an unregistered person where the transaction value is more than 2.5 lakhs. That would get reported into table 5. If we are making to all other unregistered persons, which is interstate less than 2.5 lakhs, within the state, let's say I'm selling an Audi car, which is 90 lakhs, 1 crore, still it would be treated as B2C small and it would be reported in table 7. If it is a deemed exports, where you are doing a merchant trading and someone else is further doing the exports, for you, it is you are not the exporter, but the supplies that you are making is the deemed exports. So you would be reporting that in table 6C. The exports which you are doing, which is zero rated, both SEZ or export, gets reported in 6A and 6B. And a non-taxable turnover, where the tax is not applicable, exempted turnover reported in table 8. Exempted 8A, nil 9B. In case you have advances on which you are liable to pay taxes, which is advance of services where the invoice is not done or service is not completed, then you would be reporting it under table 11. So just to sum up some of the point, you need to make sure that in GSTR-1, only outward supply should be disclosed and not the inward. Next, whatever the values that you are seeing on the screen that needs to be matched with HSN wise, rate wise, you need to report it into table 12, and the documents relating to it, which is outward, delivery challan, cancel invoice, credit notes, debit notes, the summary of the documents, which is starting number and ending number issued during the period, to be reported into table 13. And you got to make a proper segregation between interstate and intrastate and the place of supply. If e-invoice is applicable or e-waybill you are doing, the data from e-invoice and e-waybill portal would auto-populate into GSTR-1. So please reconcile with this e-invoice auto-populated data from the e-invoice portal before you file the return. Please keep track of all the e-invoice data. A reason being, some of the data wouldn't get auto-populated, translation issue. Some of the data after the auto population happened, you would have cancelled it in the books of accounts, or you have changed the supplier GST number. Could be anything you would have done which doesn't get reflected. So you need to do a reconciliation between books data and this, and only then you file the returns. This is about the GSTR-1. All right. So now let's understand the changes that have creeped in. First and foremost, the change that has happened, let me parallelly share the GSTR-1. Let me open GSTR-1. Right. So this is the format of the GSTR-1. So let's also look at the respective tables as we go in. This is the older format, not the new format. So what is the change that have happened? Earlier, the reporting expectation was my supplies which I'm making through e-commerce operator, I was expected to be reported separately. So something which is already there, so that data is expected to be carved out and reported separately. So my forward charge through e-com I was reporting here, other than e-com I was reporting here. This was the thing which we were doing earlier. So what is the change that has happened? Now, the change the government has made is if you are making a supplies through e-commerce operator, that is pushed to reporting under table 14, and now you are expected to report full value. The supplies other than has been reported. So all the outward supplies will be reported in 4A. So your 4C, which was there earlier, got deleted. Which since e-commerce moved to table 14, always wherever you will find e-commerce, those related changes happen in table 4, 5, and 7. This is one change that has happened, so you should be knowing it. So even in 7, the out of the above e-commerce operator, even this table has been dropped. Some of the change in table 9 with regards to the advances and adjustment of the advance. So when I make an advance and paying tax of it, and let's say I am raising an invoice in the next month, that adjustment of the invoice would also happen in the table 12, in the table 11. So they have changed, they removed it from your table 9. Amendments to the B2C also e-com related, they have dropped it. Advances, they have inserted the word net of refund voucher. So if you have issue returning some advance, that can also be netted off and shown into table 11. These are the changes that have happened. The important part of the discussion today is table 14 and 15. What is the change that has happened in table 14 and 15? Is a new data that one has to report. What is the new data? 14 has to be reported by the supplier. That means you are the seller of the goods, you are selling through Amazon, Flipkart. You have to report the transaction. Let's say you're selling through Zomato, Swiggy, where the Zomato, Swiggy have to be paying under reverse charge. 9.5 they have to pay. So for you, it's an exempted supply. So that is not what you are expected to report it here. We'll come there. The e-commerce operator like Swiggy, Zomato, Ola, Uber, who have an obligation to pay tax. Please note, who have an obligation to pay tax. Only then it would be reported here. We have an obligation to pay tax, that the supplies would be reported. Okay. Now let's look at in detail. Let's look at in detail how and what is that we need to we report here. First, the insertion is 5 different tables because there is amendment which is there. Original reporting is table 14. If I'm making any error in 14, I will correct it in 14A. E-commerce operator will be reporting in table 15. If he is making any correction in table 15, he'll be reporting in 15A. All right. So we have 14, 14A, 15, 15A. 15A is into 2 subtables. So we have totally 5 new tables is what I said, insertion that has happened. Next thing is the supplies that are made through e-commerce operator. The supplies, if I am making through e-commerce operator, I have given you both the examples wherein I am making a supply through Flipkart. I am responsible to pay the taxes. I am making supply through Swiggy and Zomato. The Swiggy and Zomato is liable to pay taxes. So where the supplier is liable to pay tax would be reported under 14A. Supplier is liable to pay tax is reported under 14A. If the liability to pay tax is of e-com operator, it would be reported under 14B. So we are looking at both. I as a supplier, I am selling my goods on Flipkart. I also have a restaurant and I am selling my supplies of restaurants through Swiggy, Zomato, which means I am making supplies through e-commerce operator. That's the first one. Second, I am also making the supplies which are taxable by me in my hands, taxable in other hands. Both are reported. So all my supplies through e-commerce operator are reported. These supplies have already been reported earlier. Again, we are making a reporting of it. Contrarily, when we come to table 15, your e-com operator is expected to report only when he is liable to pay tax under 9(5). Only that which he has an obligation to pay tax, he will be reporting here. Because this data is auto-populated to table 3.11 of 3B, and he has to be paying the taxes. So that data is auto-populated, only this will come. So Flipkart and Amazon will not be using table 15 because they're anyhow otherwise doing the TCS returns, right? So they're filing GSTR-8 separately. So that wouldn't be reported here. Let's go little detail of each of the table. Table 14. So the 14, you have two reportings where reporting 1 you can see on the screen, left side top, where the e-commerce operator is liable to pay under 9(5) is 1, and the supplier who has to pay the tax and e-commerce operator is doing TCS is here. So both are to be reported. Please note, this is a duplicate reporting. You are reporting again. This is duplicate reporting. Please don't think that your liability will go up because you are reporting again. Table 14, 15 is a duplicate reporting. You have already disclosed the liability between anywhere between 4 to 10. You have already disclosed the liability, right? So you may be thinking that, okay, if I have report here, will it get auto-populated in 3B and the tax will go up? The answer is no. Neither the tax value or tax liability will not be auto-populated into 3B from this table. All right. You will not get taxed twice. This is, you need to know. When it comes to 9(5) supplies, since there is a reporting obligation in 3.11, only the value where the supply made through e-commerce operator is auto-populated and where the tax portion is shaded. So you will not be paying tax on it. What is the value that I will be reporting here? It is a consolidated value through each e-commerce operator, how much I am selling by e-commerce operator. So e-commerce operator 1, 2, 3, 4 against each of the e-commerce operators. So I'm not reporting invoice wise. I'm reporting e-commerce operator wise. What is the value of supply I have made? How much is IGST, CGST, SGST, cess if any. So I'm just summarizing into a simple Excel type and I'm just uploading it. This is what you will do into table 14. When it comes to table 15, table 15 is a little complicated and a detailed reporting. First, in table 15, only the e-commerce operators have to report. So such e-commerce operator where he has to pay tax under 9(5), he has to be reporting here. So here is a case. I am a restaurant. I am making a supply to you. I am a restaurant. I'm making a supply to you. Only thing is you have placed the order in Swiggy and the Swiggy has come to my restaurant and picked the order and delivered to you. The situation is multifold. I am a registered person. I'm a registered person. You are a registered person. Option 1. I am registered and you are unregistered. Option 2. Now, recently after the 50th council meeting, the portal got also amended where they are permitting unregistered persons also to operate through e-commerce operator, right? E-commerce operator is liable to pay taxes. So the e-commerce operator might also be dealing with an unregistered person selling to a registered person or an unregistered person selling to an unregistered person, right? So anything could happen. Now, even that permutation is also given. Now, when there is an amendment that is there, this amendment is made each basis if the registered person is recipient is registered person, separate set of amendment. So if the registered person is the recipient, then he has to avail the credit. So that is where the reporting by the e-commerce operator, is invoice-wise reporting. The reporting by the e-commerce operator is invoice-wise. If the recipient is registered, whether seller is registered, unregistered, doesn't matter. If the registered recipient, the e-commerce operator have to report it invoice-wise. If it is the buyer, if the buyer is unregistered, then it is place of supply wise, rate wise is a consolidated reporting. Now, please note the e-commerce operator will be reporting only 95 transactions, which I have told you already. Second, he will not be reporting these transactions in any of the above tables because the value which you have reported here will automatically add to a liability in 3B. So table 15 is not a duplicate reporting, it is a original reporting. Apart from the regular sales, they will be doing it. So if the recipient is registered, then you will be entering by document wise, number wise, each invoice wise you will be entering. If the recipient is unregistered, the document is missing, you will only be entering against 10 suppliers, how many they have sold to these 10 people. That's how you will be doing a reporting of it. So the recipient who are registered, they should be availing the credit. Even in 2B, you will be seeing a new auto-populated value where it will show up that the receipts that have come from against each e-commerce wise, the document details would be coming in GSTR 2B, so that on 13th, when it is auto-populated midnight, you will be able to take credit before you file your 3B. This is all about your GSTR-1 changes that have happened. Now, if you have to register yourself with the e-commerce operator, so both composition dealer and unregistered person, both of them have been permitted to register through e-commerce operator, and they will be allowed to sell. So they have given a form called a enrollment form. You will be enrolling onto the government portal using a PAN. So basis that you will be entering the details. So because for the e-commerce operator, it is mandatory to onboard these people also. Though they will not have regular registration, these unregistered persons, they will do an enrollment and they can also sell through the platform. These are the changes in GST related. Let's see if there are any questions. Yeah, I think there's one question: how to download e-invoice from GST portal for the year. Yeah, when you connect your GST number through GST Zen software, data gets automatically downloaded. Manisha, my colleague, would be doing a demo of how the e-invoice portal data gets downloaded and R1 reconciliation happens. Demo would be given. Don't worry. All right. So then we have two more forms that you should be worried of, careful of before you file the returns. DRC01B and DRC01C. Rule 88C and 88D. These are the two things that have come up. So if there is a difference between R1 and 3B, in GSTR1 you have shown a liability of 100, while in 3B you are showing a liability of 80. 20 liability short disclosed. You will be getting automatically an intimation in DRC01B. Likewise, if you are claiming a credit of 100 in 3B, while 2B is showing 80, for the differential 20, the excess claim that you have made, you will get a system generated intimation form DRC01C. This can be viewed in the government portal services, returns and return related compliances. Please note, there are different notices, different sections. There's the additional notices in additional section form. So DRC01B and 1C notices will be downloaded under returns compliance tab. DRC01B. So basically it is a notice in part A, which is system generated, and it will be issued for each return period. Your reply should be in part B of same DRC01B. Again, you have to reply within 5 days from the date of issue of notice. If you are not replying, recovery will be initiated under section 79. You might be wondering, how can there be a recovery without a demand? 75 subsection 12 of the act says, if the taxes disclosed are not paid, the self-assessed taxes which are filed in R1 will be deemed as your tax liability. So erroneously, instead of 1 lakh rupee, you have disclosed 10 lakhs in R1. That means your liability is 10 lakhs unless you correct that. So when you are filing your DRC-01B, you will have to give a reason why your 3B is lower. You may say, I have paid taxes extra, or I have wrongly disclosed, which I'll be amending in the next period, or last month was wrong, which I have corrected. So you have to give, or there is an advance which has been received. The advances received were not adjusted. Give a disclosure as to why the difference is arising. Next goes to DRC-01C, which is 3B versus 2B. So the credit in 2B is 80, but what you have availed in GSTR 3B is 100. So for the excess 20 that you have availed, you will be getting a notice. The notice is DRC-01C. Let's look at it. Now, again, this has two parts. Part A is the first part, which the notice will come. Your reply will be in part B. Again, within 7 days, you have to make a reply. Here, it is not automatic recovery. If you are not making a reply, then the notice, show cause notice would be issued under 73-74. That proceedings would start. While you are making a reply, you have to give why you have excess availed. So the excess availed could be on account of past credits, or earlier you have not taken. You will be giving reasons why you have availed the credit extra than whatever which is already set. Now, if there is no sufficient reason, you want to give any other reason, you can give the reason which is there in any other section. But they have, system has auto populated the reasons. Most likely your reason would fit here. Maybe say import of goods you have wrongly reported under 4A5, or the credit that you have taken erroneously, instead of 100 you have put it as 1000. You realized this, either you will rectify in the next month, or you are paying it through DRC-03. All this you have to give reasons, and all reasons are already shared by the portal. Now the next thing is HSN requirement. This is a common question that we are getting, is what is HSN, and why is this need to be reported, or what is that needs to be reported. So HSN is a 6-digit reporting which is expected. However, in India, it is a 8-digit HSN which is used for customs, both export and import. We use an 8-digit HSN. While your turnover is more than 5 crores, mandatory you should do 6 digits. If the turnover is less than 5 crores, 4 digit. E-way bill portal was not mandating. Now e-way bill portal is also expecting that you do HSN and then report it. The way it is there is a chapter, heading, subheading, and tariff entry. So if I am saying 72.029911, that's how the HSN would look like. First 2 digits is the chapter. Like chapter 55 is textile products, 62 is garments, like that. 87 is electronics. So each category is into one. Like 8 and 9 is like livestock, pulses is in 0304. So each category of products that you deal with is given in the HSN. So everyone have to report this in table 12, e-invoice and e-way bill. This data is linked and auto-populated. The linking of e-way bill is also now active. If you are generating an e-invoice, you can generate e-way along with the e-way bill along with the invoice. If you want to generate e-way bill standalone, portal will stop generating e-way bill standalone. So portal will say you have to generate e-way bill only through e-invoice. Currently, NIC is the first IRP. NIC2 is also there, the other IRP. Other IRPs, all this while, were not able to generate the e-way bill. So hence, they had temporarily withdrawn. But I'm told that all IRPs are also connected to e-way bill portal. So very soon, you will not be able to generate e-way bill if you have not generated the e-invoice. And e-way bill will be generated automatically if the transporter details are provided in the e-invoice submissions. All right. Friends, these are the various things that we had for discussion today. Electronic credit reclaim statement. There were people who were asking there is a balance that is showing up. What do I need to do? You don't need to do anything with it. It is a balance that is available for you to take in the next month. So whatever the values that you're reporting in 4B2 of 3B is moving to electronic credit reclaim statement. You have to ensure that these credits are availed in the subsequent period, right? If you think that these are credits erroneously coming up, you can reverse it. If you report it in 4D1, the value in the electronic credit reclaim statement will automatically gets reduced. So with this, we have come to end of the theory part of it. Let's see if there are any questions. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm here some more time. We'll take up the questions. What we will do is we will go to the practical side of it. Whatever I've discussed, how actually this happens in the portal is what I'll be showing you. I invite Manisha, my colleague, to start demonstrating on how table 14 and 15 would be used in GSTR-1. Manisha?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I think my screen is visible.
Yeah. Yes, Manisha, visible.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. So, good afternoon, everybody. Today I will be demonstrating that how you can file GSTR-1 using GST-Zen. So when you log in and create your GST Zen account, this will be the dashboard where you will add all your GST number to manage all the GST compliance, which you are able to do through GST Zen. Let me quickly discuss about the dashboard, what all options are available here. So whatever GST number you will be adding, you can see all the GST numbers and their return filing status here on the dashboard itself. If you want to add further more GST numbers, you can use this tab where you will put the GST number. It will automatically fetch the name of the taxpayer and you can add the GST and able to see that same GST number in the dashboard. Then you have this manage multiple GSTN. Using this option, you can upload your sales register and purchase register for multiple GST numbers in one go. Then we have this autopilot. So in this autopilot feature, you can use this autopilot feature to work on multiple GSTNs in one go. Here you have an actions which you can proceed if you want to do, if you want to download the reports, if you want to fetch the data for the reconciliation, if you want to go ahead with multiple steps of reconciliation, you can use this autopilot feature to work with multiple GST in one go. Moving ahead, next option we have is this notice tracker, this notice management option. So you can use this option to download to see whatever notices are there for your GST number. You can also save the replies whatever you are making to the government. So also you can download the notices for multiple GSTs using this autopilot feature. Moving ahead, I will show you that how you can file the GST return. So for the same, I will be selecting one of the GST number. After selecting this, it will give me the major options, that is download a report, reconcile and file GST return. Under a download option, as sir mentioned, that you will be getting all the reports in an Excel format once you fetch the data from the portal. So you will get consolidated report. In this, you can have a comparison report of GSTR-1, 2A and 3B. GSTR-1 outward supply, GSTR-1 e-invoices, 2A, 2B, 3B, ITC 04. All these reports are available in an Excel format. Next to the reconciliation, we have purchase register versus 2A, purchase register versus 2B, sales register versus GSTR-1, and sales register versus GSTR-1 e-invoices. So these are the four reconciliations we have. For this return filing, you can file the return for GSTR-1, 3B, 9, and 9C. Today, as we are talking majorly for GSTR-1, changes in the table 14 and table 15. So we'll be showing you the demo for GSTR-1, and here I will be doing it for Feb 2024. So this will be the screen where you will be conveniently file your GSTR-1. So here in the step 0, I will be downloading First, I will be logging into the government portal using the OTP. He'll be providing the username and we'll get the OTP. Once you log into the government portal, here you can download and fetch the data available in your GSTR-1 government portal. That means the auto-populated data. You will click here and fetch the data into GST-Zen. So it will, once the data is downloaded, it will show you here that data is downloaded. Meanwhile, let me show you the next steps. That is step 1. You will be uploading your sales register. Uh, uh, to upload your sales register, we have an options where you can do through Excel, Tally, JSON. Today, I'll be showing you through an Excel. Tally is also available. So here I have let me show you the Excel file which I have prepared to upload it here. Here, this is an Excel file which I have prepared to show you that how you can file your GSTR-1. Also here under this column, I have provided few e-commerce GST numbers to show you that how it will present in table 14A and table 14B. So let me just upload it. Once I upload this Excel file, I have to choose the format in which particular format I am uploading the Excel. So in my second sheet, I have having all the data. So on this screen, you have to do the mapping. So basically, you will be informing the software to pick particular information which is available in your Excel sheet. Okay, so here for this invoice type, again, a drop down is provided. You just have to choose the column in which particular column your invoice type is provided. So also, if you do this mapping once, it will auto visible next time whenever you're going to use the same format. Okay, so as I'm using this same format, so this all the mapping is auto populated. So I'll just upload and process. Once I upload my data into GST-Zen, it will give me this summary where I can see what is my invoice count and all the other information. If I am having any errors, it will show me here in the down this button. So I'll just confirm and save the entries. It will upload into GST-Zen. Let me take you back to the previous screen where I was showing you that how you can file the GSTR-1 using GST-Zen. So with this, we have completed our second step. First step, that is, then the second step is issued document summary. You will be uploading another Excel where you will show your issued document. In the step 3, there's an HSN summary, which is an optional option. Okay, and also if you upload your HSN summary in step 1, that is with the sales register, it will auto populate and give you the summary level details here. Next we have is this GSTR-1 calculation settings. So here we have few settings which you can change and do as per your convenience. So here we have an option invoice present only in books. So there which I have set it as uploaded to the portal. So there might be the case where you have B2C invoices or an exempted invoice which you want to push to the government portal to file your GSTR-1. So for the same, I have chosen here upload to the portal. Next option we have is invoice present only in auto-populated e-invoices. So in case here I have kept it that portal invoices as it is, but you can change the setting in case you want to delete the invoices, whatever is auto-populated, or want to ignore the invoices, whatever is auto-populated. The cases may be where you have the invoice count of more than 500, and you in that case you cannot delete or ignore a particular invoice, so you can change this setting. Next option we have is books and in e-invoice match, exact match. So wherever the books and the invoices are exactly same, you will prefer to have the portal invoices. Similarly, if there is any differences in the books and invoices, again you would prefer the portal invoices. So these settings we here is set as per considering the auto-populated data. You can change these settings as per your requirement. The next step would be review GSTs and summary. You will calculate this. Okay, once you calculate this data, it will show you a tabular structure here where it will give you the summary level detail. You can just verify, and also if you see here, it is giving you a separate row for e-commerce table footing. So this is the summary level detail which you can verify with your data. Also here we have few options. I would like to show you that how your table would, how your form, like the information, whatever you are putting through GS Design, how it will appear in your form. So here we have table 14A and 14B. Wherever the RCM is no, it will report to table 14A. Wherever the RCM is yes, it will go to table 14B. So this is how all your values will be there in the form. If you want to see the invoice level detail, you can download this books XLS. And if you want to see the delta, whatever is uploading to the government portal, you can have this payload XLS. Moving further, you will upload your data to the government portal. It will take 2 minutes to upload the data into the portal. And if you have any errors, it will show you the error report here under the status option. Then you will generate the summary, and in GST Zen, it will what it says, it will reconcile whatever is there in the books and in the portal, and it will give you a review summary here. It will show you if any differences are there in whatever data you have with you in your books and want to file the return with. So it will give you a complete difference report. And then if there is no differences and you are okay with the data whatever is there on the portal and want to proceed with filing, then you can file the return with EVC and DSC. So by these simple steps, you can file your GSTR-1 using GST Zen. And if you have any further questions, please feel free to ask. Venu sir, you want me to add anything else?
Maybe that you can show the GSTR-1 data which gets auto-populated from e-invoice, and the steps that the 4 steps that we take care of, match, overwrite everything, so that it's easy for the participants that, okay, this is something they have to take an action. So when you're filing the GSTR-1 return, whichever be the period, as I said, the data is auto-populated. Here, there is a data which is automatically coming from the government portal. When you Excel is already open. Manisha, those settings where what is the user should do on the portal?
Okay, sir.
Retain.
So here?
Yeah. So if you can see on the screen, there are 4 things. The invoices which are present only in the books. What do you want to do? Sometimes you have not done the e-invoice and that invoice is there. So you are now giving an instruction saying that upload it to the portal. Let's say there is an invoice which is auto-populated from the e-invoice portal, which is not there in the books. It is present only in the auto-populated, not in books. Then you might have deleted in the books and you don't want it, right? If books and e-invoice is exactly matching, keep the portal invoice. If the books and e-invoice is different, here is set as keep the portal invoice. Now you may say, no, I want to keep the books invoice for the last one, and for the second one, I want to delete it. So here you can click on the change settings and you can change that. What do you want to do? Here, this is very important. I would request everyone to take special attention, because most of the time we have a habit of selecting next and filing. So if the invoice is only in the books, upload it to the portal. If the invoice is presented only in the auto-populated, we are saying delete it from the portal. It's like, I don't want it. If the books and the invoice is matching, then keep the portal invoice. If the books and the invoice is not matching, Then I'll say upload books invoice to the portal. So now if you save this GST payload settings, so the Manisha has shown you how to upload the Excel data. The data from the government portal has come. Before you file, before you go to the step 4, the review summary, you will be seeing this. So click on that calculate again. Yeah. So your summary is refreshed. Sometimes people think that, okay, I've changed the settings. Why is this not happening? Now you have to give instructions to the system saying that, okay, here, this is what I want to do. So you give that instructions and do, and it's a step-by-step smooth navigation filing. All right. So otherwise, this is all, and a pretty simple, good tool to file GST returns from. If even though you can easily file GSTR-1 on the Excel, I would recommend use this software, reconcile the data with the books, and they file it. There are multiple options that are available. Yeah. Thank you, Manisha.
Thank you, sir.
All right, there's a question from my Mukesh. He says, my client selling food through Swiggy. How that entry I need to show while filing? Mukesh, your client who is selling through Swiggy, it's an exempted turnover, goes to table 8. So you don't need to report it. Okay, if you're talking about your client who has to report it, again, as I said, the reporting he will be doing when he is doing in table 14. In 14B, he will be doing it because he's a supplies on which e-commerce operator liable to pay tax under 9(5) is in 14B. He would be reporting in 14B. For the taxable gets reported in 4 and 14A or 7 and 14B. For exempted, it gets reported into table 8 and 14B. If you have missed this to show the data in Jan and Feb, how to solve this problem? No worry. In the current month, you can add this and you can submit it. That is also permitted. You have no issue. You can add to the current month and submit it. Yeah, when I say add to the current month, whenever you are filing, please file with 0. So there is a 14A amendment. You can go to Jan month, you amend the Jan month record and upload it. Any other questions from the participants? Goods sold through e-commerce website like Amazon. Again, Mukherjee, you report it in 4A if it is registered person, table 7 unregistered person, and come back to table 14. In 14A, you will be reporting it. Is debit note issued to the supplier e-invoice is mandatory. Please note the credit note, debit note under GST is issued by the supplier and not the recipient. We generally issue a debit note if some quantity is rejected, which is like supplier has issued a credit note. That will be reported to us, and our debit note will not get reported to e-invoice portal. But otherwise, debit note and credit note reporting of e-invoice is also mandatory. All right. So these are the various things that we have to discuss with you guys, and feel free to contact us any given point of time. You have a queries, you can write to us support@gstzen.in. I have given the email ID and the phone number, WhatsApp phone number in the chat. Use that and reach to us. Utkarsh is our contact for you to have additional webinars or corporate trainings, do a training to your office team on GST and how to file GST returns, all those services that can be easily handled. We are supplying ice cream to Zomato, where to show in GST. Anand, it is Zomato is the one who is paying tax, not you are not the one paying tax. Hence, you will be showing in table 8 and 14B. Thank you, Utkarsh. The recording of the today's session would also be shared. All right. So we have come to end of the, there's one question. Kumar is asking, in case of margin sale, what would be the taxable value? In case of the margin sale, is like where you are selling your second-hand dealer. So only on the margin that you will be paying tax, the taxable value is the margin amount. Mukesh is saying trying amendment Jan and Feb, nothing allowing. That is what I said. If you have nothing to pay, you shouldn't file blank. You should put a 0. Amendment option is permitted only when you have a 0. If you don't have 0, it is a blank. NA amendment doesn't happen. This is one thing which I wanted to tell you. All right. So we also have our WhatsApp community. Please join the WhatsApp to get an update. And if you have a query on GST, you can write to us every day in the WhatsApp community. You get a link to ask a doubt. So there is an expert committee who will be answering the questions. In case if you have a notice that needs to be handled, GST then has advisors tied up across India. So you will be connected to any of the tax professional across India, where you can one-on-one get connected to them and get your queries be resolved. All right. Thank you everyone for your patience listening, and we have come to end of today's webinar. Special thanks to Manisha and Utkarsh for doing these sessions regularly and continuously. Thank you guys.